Welcome to another episode of the Dreamchasers Interlude. I'm your host, Chaser Dark Sage, and this is brought to you by Beyond Beats and Culture. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and like the video if you want more content like this. But basically, this is a series where I kind of give you guys a peek into like my world, my niche, the things that I love in hip hop, and what I be thinking about. And this video to me is thought about, well, to me, it's actually brought by, like, I was thinking about Rick Ross earlier this week, right? Not like that. Like, you know, Rick Ross was one of my favorite rappers, especially coming out of the, well, he didn't come from the blog era, but coming out of the blog era, his run, which I will be making a video about that as well. But coming out of that era and how strong, like, he came out throughout that era and, like, the people that he had with him. He had Stally, Wale, Meek Mill. He had Omarion as well, which is so weird. Wale and Omarion might have been like the weirdest choices for this, but basically Rick Ross had a whole label slash collective with Maybach Music Group. And you know, I was just thinking about some of the artists he had on there. One of the primary artists that we all know of today is Meek Mill, and Meek Mill is definitely a, well, I want to say a controversial rapper. I don't want to say a controversial rapper because it's not like he really got into anything that was like too weird or too funny, but his antics on social media has definitely affected people's perception on who Meek Mill is and like what has happened to Meek Mill, especially with his career itself. Now, I'm not saying that Meek Mill hasn't played a part in any of this at all, but his perception online, especially to like the masses, it kind of looks a bit weird, especially with the whole Diddy stuff, the weird things that he's doing online. He's kind of coming off like an older 5-year foreign. I don't know. You guys can let me know in the comment section down below. But at one point, Meek Mill wasn't a joke. Meek Mill was the guy, actually. The guy that broke Dat Piff's website with his mixtape, Dreamchasers 2. And it's just weird to think about this because, like I said, I was thinking about this the other day. And me, I love the blog era. The blog era is one of my favorite eras of hip-hop music, right? And so I was just thinking, right? Let me go to this tab right here. I was thinking, and I just put the tweet out. It's crazy how we view Meek Mill now. This is the same guy that made Dreamchasers 2. You just had to be there to understand this. And I feel like it's one of those things that you just had to be there. If you wasn't there during the blog era itself, you wouldn't understand the impact that Meek Mill really had, especially with, like I said, him breaking Dat Piff's website. Now, the fact of him breaking Dat Piff's website, because I didn't know Meek Mill before that. I've kind of heard of him before that because of his, like, you know, him running around with Rick Ross and all that. Like I said, Rick Ross was one of my favorite artists during that time. I heard of Meek Mill as a byproduct of him being Rick Ross's artist, right? And so I had to see what this mixtape was about. I had to see what this Meek Mill guy was about. And basically him breaking the website, I'm like, yo, if he broke the website because this many people wanted to check out his mixtape, I gotta see like what's happening. What is the impact that this guy is having in the hip hop game right now? Because I haven't heard that many songs from him besides I'm a Boss. I'm a Boss was like his biggest song at that time before obviously Dreams and Nightmares came out. Now, I'm just giving you guys some context of like what this time is like, right? And I want to talk about Dreamchasers 2 because I actually recently went to go and revisit it, especially as an adult, because I like Dreamchasers 2. I love Dreamchasers 2, especially as a teenager, especially when it first came out. But I haven't really ran back to Dreamchasers 2 because, I don't know, there's just been so much more music that came out since then. But Dreamchasers 2 is a quintessential mixtape from the blog era. It has a lot of impact and is obviously most known for it breaking Dat Piff's website. I think like maybe a few mixtapes might have done that. Now, me, myself, I'm more of a live mixtapes guy, but you got to go to Dat Piff for certain things, especially the Dat Piff exclusive. But it's just weird to see like Meek Mill was that guy, especially that guy that was loved by everybody. He was on the come up. He was the underdog. Like everybody was rooting for him at one point. And now just look at him now. Like whenever he makes a tweet, people just make fun of him. People think that he has like real life CTE, like he's developing CTE over Twitter. People just look like Meek Mill. I mean, look at Meek Mill. Like, he's just a clown now. To me, that's just so crazy because, like I said, this guy made Dreamchasers 2. You had to be there for the impact. This guy was the guy that was up next. And honestly, he deserved it because Dreamchasers 2 was such a great tape, especially for back then. But it's a really good tape even now. Now I'm looking back at it. But let's actually go ahead and talk about Dreamchasers 2 and me revisiting it, giving you guys some of this background information right here because, man, Dreamchasers 2, it definitely brought your boy back. I'm not gonna lie. But Dreamchasers 2 is Meek Mill's 9th mixtape, and it came out 2012, and it's 73 minutes and 39 second song, which is it does drag a bit, but we'll talk about that later. The critical response, look at this. People loved it. Well, people really, really liked it and were really fond of it. But actually looking at the track list, I gotta set you guys up with this right here because the streaming version, I don't know what it is, but the track listing is a bit weird. I don't know if it has all the songs on there. I think it has some songs missing as well, but the track listing is really weird, or at least on the Spotify version right here, right? And this is during the time where mixtapes sometimes had like other people's beats on there, but it also, like, you know, had original music as well. So shout out to Aubrey Graham for that. But let's go ahead and actually go through this track list right here. And like I said, I recently revisited this just for this video right here, because like I said, Dreamchasers 2 has such a huge impact. Like, it's just so crazy. Like, people love this mixtape right here. And it's like Meek Mill couldn't fail at this point. Like, he was, I don't want to say the golden child, but people looked at him and was like, yo, that's that guy that's up next. And he was. He kind of came to deliver with Dreams and Nightmares, which he obviously has one of the biggest intros of all time, so the Dreams and Nightmares intro. And then, you know, all the other stuff that he's come out with, especially with, you know, uh his other albums, Dreams Worth More Than Money, I believe that's what it's called. His beef with Drake. After that, it's like he went to jail. You know, people were clowning on him as well. Then he came back out, tried to do like a jail reform thing with Robert Kraft, I believe. But then he just started acting weird in the media. But Meek Mill is one of those guys that, you know, just to shine some light, I just want to make a good video about Meek Mill, because while we all dog on him and make fun of him a lot, I do want to give him, like, you know, some flowers, because like I said, this was a huge moment during the blog era itself. But going into the intro, Meek is hungry. Oh, and throughout this whole project, Meek is hungry. Meek is putting out great music. You could see that Meek Mill, he's coming to prove something right here, and he definitely proved it. You get what I'm saying? Then we got Ready or Not, him going over the Fugees beat and him getting sampled over, obviously, the Ready or Not song. Really good as well. I've seen a lot of people actually commenting on my tweet saying like, yo, like this one's right here, like this is like my favorite track. Then we got Amen with Drake and Jeremiah. I don't know why they didn't put Jeremiah, since he was on the hook, I believe. Then we get Burn with him and Big Sean going back and forth. Oh my gosh. Him and Big Sean kind of like trading like verses, or trading not trading bars necessarily, but like going back and forth. I loved it. A1 Everything featuring Kendrick Lamar. And I'm not sure if this is what put me on to Kendrick Lamar, but I remember hearing this. And I remember hearing Section 80 that same year, at least. I'm not sure if that's when I found Section 80 though. But hearing Kendrick Lamar's verse on this, and this is during the era, like I said, during the blog era, where if you hear one person's like verse and it was like really good to you, you actually go back and look to see if they got a mixtape, and you check out all the A music. So I don't know if this is how I found out about Section 80. I'm not sure, but I feel like I found out about Section 80 before this. But we keep going. Then we got Used to Be, which this guy, Jordan, he tries to come off like as like broke down R. Kelly, to me personally. And then we got Flexin'. Hard song. Jalil beats on the production on some of these tracks. Cardiac as well. They was in a bag. But also, I'm just looking at the actual production credits right here. Wait, The Weeknd? Oh, The Weeknd with the Ride. But yeah, I'm just looking at some of the production credits right here. The Beat Bully All-Star, Cardiac, Southside. Yeah, these beats, fire. But then we got Day, which that song was cool. I Get It with Travis Scott. And this was Travis Scott pre like Rodeo, like during like Al Farrow era of Travis Scott. And this verse was bad. Travis Scott back then, especially back then when he wasn't all auto-tuned up, he didn't know what he wanted to sound like. Not good. Then we get Racked Up Shawty, produced by Southside. One of my favorite tracks on this project right here. Oh my gosh, with Fabulous and French Montana all giving great verses, and the fact that it sounds like they have a money counter machine in the actual production itself. What are we doing? Then we got Lean With It, another banger. Big Dreams, pretty good. Take You Home featuring Wale and Big Sean. I'm not gonna lie, to me the project, it's very top heavy. Like, to me the project started waning down after track 11. To me, track 11, from 1 to 11, peak, heat, fire. And I'm not saying that the rest of the album itself is bad, but you could definitely tell that it's kind of like not losing its way, but it's kind of running its course where I'm just like, all right, I get it. Some of these songs are like big party songs. I don't really care for them. Like, Straight Like That, I loved it back when I was younger, but going back to it now, I'm just like, House Party Remix, cool. House Party was one of your big songs off of Dreamchasers 1. Cool. Real, On My Way. These songs is cool. Like, they're not bad. And him going over the Ride, which is one of Drake's songs off of Take Care, this is cool as well. I just think that run that he had from tracks 1 to 11, perfect. A 20-track project. Like I said, this is an hour and 13 minutes. To me, it definitely ran its course for a little while. But man, I'm not gonna lie. Going back to this, I had such huge nostalgia, like rose-tinted glasses, just viewing this and just remembering where I was at the time. Because I remember jamming this a lot and jamming Detroit a lot that same year. Oh my God, Detroit by Big Sean, which we might have to make a video of that as well. But man, Meek Mill, like, he was that guy that was up next. This project is still good. And I just wanted to go and see some of the actual comments on my tweet right here, because, you know, I don't know what it is with this tweet right here, but this tweet actually caused some motion. But I just wanted to see some of the tweets that we actually got from this right here, because it was just interesting to see like all these people come out and like kind of reminisce just like I did. Bro was rapping with Kendrick on the same level. This was facts. In fact, Kendrick did not kill Meek Mill on his own song. That was a good thing. Even though Kendrick isn't the guy that we know him as now, Kendrick was still a hungry artist as well. But Kendrick did just come in there and just slaughter Meek Mill. So if you would actually tell somebody like, yo, yeah, Meek Mill and Kendrick Lamar have a song together, you would think like, oh, Kendrick wiped him to the floor. No. Meek Mill definitely had a great verse himself with A1 Everything, which is one of my favorite songs. That's like one of my favorite gym songs from back then. He legit didn't make a bad project until in the entirety of the 2010s. I agree. One of the few rappers to crash that piff. See, a lot of people are also reminiscing along with me. I dang near thought I was from Philly when this dropped. This is the greatest mixtape of all time, by the way. I wouldn't go as far to say that. Dreamchasers Meek was goated. This is facts right here. I even like Dreamchasers 3, but Dreamchasers 3 and 4, those are the ones like I least return to. Like out of the Dreamchasers series, I really just return to Dreamchasers 1 and 2. Very true. Look at this guy. Like, nah, like, you know, that's memories right there. I'm gonna leave the we talk to y'all. I couldn't care less about the tweets. This guy is still one of my favorite rappers, and nothing will change that. Meek was never one of my favorite rappers, but he was one of those guys like, yo, like, I'm in tune now. Like, after this mixtape, I'm like, yo, I'm checking out his releases right here. And I think I checked out all his releases up until, what's the album with the collage on the front cover? I forgot the name of it. But yeah. Nah, a lot of people try to act like, what? Like, Meek Mill? Like, y'all view him differently? Like, no, I can never view him differently. I hate when people act like that. Before Meek was a cornball. See the dichotomy of man right there. This and True Religion by Chains was the only music I listened to for a year straight. True Religion? We might have to make a video on that one as well, because I love True Religion. Meek's still goated. You just can't win against the net. Do we call Meek goated? Do we call Meek goated? I'm a bit apprehensive on that one. I don't think I call him goated. I don't think he has the discography to be goated, but I might have to go through his whole discography to see if like Meek Mill is really goated. But he's definitely like a legacy artist from the blog era himself. Would I call him a top 10 blog era artist? And by top 10, I don't mean just by lyrical ability. I mean music making ability, success, impact. That's what I mean. Because obviously when we talk about the blog era artists, Drake, Kendrick, and Cole, they're number 3. We're never going to change that, right? I don't care what order you put them in. But then you also got a Big Sean. Then you also got a Wale. Then you also got a Wiz Khalifa. You got to think about those artists as well. Is he in that remaining 5? I don't know. You guys let me know in the comment section down below. This is generally Meek's best project pound for pound. This is my favorite project by Meek. Will I say it's his best based off of what I've heard? I can't judge that because I have too much nostalgia bias towards this. Meek was undefeated 2012 through 2014. This is facts. I think this was the most downloaded mixtape on that pit before it shut down. He crashed hot new hip hop. Mind you, all of us was in class while this ish dropped. Before the Drake beef, Meek Mill was definitely top 5. After that beef, guys looked at him like dang near a joke. He low-key still can't shake that ish off today, which it was crazy to even, we might have to recount that time where Meek Mill and Drake actually beefed, because Meek Mill, he could have easily won that beef, especially with the allegations he had against Drake with the ghostwriting stuff. He could have easily won that beef. I don't know what was going through his mind, but he actually recently tweeted about it, saying like, yo, my label told me not to release anything during that time. It's too late now for that, Meek. We don't care. Dreamchasers 2 was a classic. Negroes was dropping mixtapes that sounded like albums. Facts. Now we get albums that sound like mixtapes. Definitely not like the mixtapes in the blog era though. This was peak Meek literally. The moment Negroes bring him up, this project comes to mind immediately. And yeah, just to look at the impact of like what Meek really had during that time during the blog era, it's just so crazy to me to think about, because like I said, he was that guy at one point. Everybody loved him. Oh my God, Meek was that guy. And to look at him now, people just look at him as a laughingstock, a joke, a meme. Oh my gosh. Drake's beef with him, even though those two have mended since then, and the things that he's been doing on social media, him running around with Diddy, people trying to put the allegations of him being, you know, him going that way with Diddy as well, then him saying no Diddy gang as well. Meek is just, and then don't talk about the infamous screenshot of him buying something on Amazon, it popping up, you know, a woman's play toy, and he was like, yo, how do I unlink my account? Oh, it's just so much stuff that I'm hoping that that's fake. I didn't see it in person when it came out, but I'm hoping that's fake. But that's always like one thing that's spread around by Meek Mill. Pause on that. But yeah, it's just so crazy to see like how he view Meek Mill now versus like who he was back then. This guy made I'm a Boss. Dreams and Nightmares intro. Young and I'm getting it. Like, what are we doing? This guy has an Amen, Burn, A1 everything. Racked up shorty. Like, oh my god. Dreamchasers 2 is such a good project. Even though it's so top heavy, I still consider it a really, really good project and a really fun project at that. Meek Mill definitely showed himself as someone with really great potential, as someone that could have longevity within the rap game itself. Now, how he is now in the latest project I think I heard with Meek Mill was him and Rick Ross's collab project, which I did not like at all. But overall, man, I just wanted to reminisce a bit about Meek Mill's Dreamchasers 2 because, like I said, I put that tweet out. I saw I was doing numbers. I'm like, you know what? Let me go ahead and actually talk about Meek myself on this video right here, because I don't think that I would ever talk about Meek besides in what we've been jamming on the actual show itself, which we recently did that. I don't think I'll ever talk about him, me and my co-host. I don't think he'd be interested enough to talk about it because he said that he didn't really get the hype with Dreamchasers 2. Like, he never really liked it like that. Now, I could be paraphrasing him wrong right there. You can let me know in the comment section down below, B. But yeah, I know that he probably wouldn't care about that. And we could maybe do an anniversary review of this. I don't know. But I just wanted to talk about Dreamchasers 2 because I can't imagine us talking about Dreamchasers 2 any other time on the channel itself. But you guys let me know what you thought about this video right here. Let me know what you think about Meek Mill's Dreamchasers 2. What'd you think about it when it first came out? What do you think about it now? Have you actually revisited it? Does it still hold up to you? Like, how do you view Meek Mill yourself? Tell me. Let me know in the comment section down below, guys. But this has been another episode of Dark Sage and Interlude. I'm Dark Sage. Peace.